For centuries, our kind has stayed hidden on Earth.
I grew up on Transformers. I still remember sitting cross-legged on the floor, watching Optimus Prime stand tall, voice booming with purpose, holding the line between chaos and order. And every time he said, "Autobots, roll out!" something in me believed the world could still be saved. That feeling? It's never really gone. Even now, with the announcement of Transformers 8 and 9, I feel that same pull, like it's 2007 all over again. Only this time, the stakes feel even higher. Paramount has officially confirmed a new trilogy after Transformers Rise of the Beasts. That means not one, but two more mainline entries in this universe. No release dates yet, but we know Transformers 8 is coming. And Stephen Caple Jr., who directed Rise of the Beasts, is expected to return. It's likely that Anthony Ramos and Dominique Fishback will be back too. They're not confirmed, but all signs point in that direction. Now, here's what makes this interesting. Rise of the Beasts didn't make the kind of money the earlier films did. It pulled in $438.6 million worldwide on a $195 million budget. That's the lowest in franchise history. But Paramount still greenlit 2 sequels. That tells me one thing. They're not just betting on nostalgia anymore. They believe they've got something that can evolve, something that can last. Let's take a step back. This all began with Michael Bay's explosive vision in 2007. Back then, Shia LaBeouf's Sam Witwicky and Bumblebee anchored the franchise in human emotion. The Bay era was chaos wrapped in metal. By the 5th film, things got bloated. Then came Bumblebee in 2018, a soft reboot with a smaller story, tighter emotions, and a clear sense of direction. That film hit differently, and Rise of the Beasts picked up from there, set in 1994, deepening the mythos while introducing Maximals and teasing bigger things to come. Which brings us to now. Transformers 8 will likely serve as a direct sequel to Rise of the Beasts. Think of it as Rise of the Beasts 2, even if that won't be the official title. One of the most popular title predictions? Transformers Rise of Unicron. If that turns out to be true, then we're staring down one of the most powerful beings in the entire Transformers lore. Unicron isn't just a villain, he's a force, a planet eater, a cosmic-level threat. In Transformers The Last Knight, we got glimpses of his existence, hints that Earth itself might be Unicron's dormant form. The idea never went anywhere after that film, but now it might finally pay off. If Unicron really is coming, then the entire foundation of this franchise shifts. Autobots and Decepticons would have no choice but to team up. That's not just action for the sake of spectacle, that's evolution. That's tension, compromise, survival. It's the kind of story that stretches beyond good and evil. And that's what Stephen Caple Jr. seems to be aiming for. He said in interviews that he deliberately planted seeds in Rise of the Beasts, not just for the next film, but for something much bigger. There was a moment in that film that teased a crossover with another legendary IP. Fans caught it, the G.I. Joe reference. That could mean a shared cinematic universe in the making. Transformers and G.I. Joe, 2 childhood pillars, finally coming together on screen? If done right, it could be massive. Caple's vision is clear. He wants scale, but he doesn't want to lose intimacy. That balance is hard to strike. But in Rise of the Beasts, he showed he could introduce new characters like Optimus Primal without drowning the narrative. So with Transformers 8, the expectation is higher. He's not just building sequels, he's trying to build legacy. As for the cast, it's safe to say Anthony Ramos will return as Noah Diaz. His character had emotional depth and a solid arc. He wasn't just a bystander. Dominique Fishback's Elena brought intelligence and curiosity to the table. They gave us humans we could care about again. Peter Cullen will, of course, return to voice Optimus Prime. His voice is Prime. Ron Perlman voiced Optimus Primal last time, and there's a good chance he returns too. But here's where things get interesting. If Unicron is the villain, who voices him? Some fans are hoping for Hugo Weaving, who voiced Megatron in earlier films. Others want a new voice, something deep, ancient, and unforgettable. The voice of Unicron has to shake the screen. It has to feel like the end of everything. And the visuals? Transformers 8 will need to go beyond anything we've seen before. A battle against a planet-sized entity requires more than explosions. It needs scale, not just in space, but in stakes. IMAX screens are almost a given. The sound design will need to be thunderous, the action coherent, the storytelling sharp. The film should feel both gigantic and grounded. Release-wise, late 2025 or early 2026 is the most probable window, and Transformers 9, probably late 2027 or 2028 if all goes as planned. But Transformers 8 isn't the only thing cooking. The franchise has other projects lined up, animated shows, spin-offs, and possibly more crossovers. Paramount is playing the long game. They've seen how franchises like the MCU built empires, not just on heroes, but on interconnected worlds. The same model could work here if done carefully. Now, expectations are tricky. Some fans want more Bay-style action, others want the emotional tone of Bumblebee, and newer fans who entered with Rise of the Beasts want something fresh. That's a hard mix, but the focus seems to be on building something bold, something that can honor the past without repeating it. Streaming-wise, we can expect the film to hit Paramount Plus eventually, maybe other platforms too. But this is a theater-first movie. It's designed for big screens, big sound, and big feelings. If there's one film that demands the IMAX treatment, it's this one. There's a moment in every franchise where the future hangs in the balance. For Transformers, that moment is now. Not because they've run out of ideas, but because they finally have a chance to tell the biggest one. And yeah, Hemsworth might be in Transformers 8. Not as Optimus Prime, but maybe as someone entirely new, possibly from the G.I. Joe side of the upcoming crossover. That's exciting. Seeing him take on a live-action role in this massive universe would be a major win, but it's also a little sad. Because if he does show up in Transformers 8 as a different character, and Transformers 1 never gets a sequel, that chapter closes too soon. There's still so much left in that world. The emotional core of Transformers 1 was the dynamic between Orion Pax and D-16. It wasn't just robots fighting, it was about two friends whose paths tore them apart. That deserves more than one movie. A sequel could bridge the animated films to the live-action timeline. Show the Decepticon Civil War. Show how Optimus becomes the weathered leader we know. Show how the ideals that once united him and Megatron become their battlefield. Hemsworth had the range to explore that, the quiet conflict, the burden of leadership, the sorrow behind the strength. It would be a waste to let that go unexplored. If you're just as hyped for what's coming, hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe, because when Transformers 8 lands, you'll want to be here for every frame, every voice, and every battle. Roll out!